Uh, I talked about this a little bit before, but South Dakota is one of those rectangle states, and it's cut in the middle by the Missouri River. And there's the east side of the river and there's the west side of the river. And you would not think there is that much of a difference. And in all grand scheme things, there is not. But as every state, I'm sure, has it, where there's like Wyoming, and then there's the California part of Wyoming, which is what the hell is that? It's up by the Grand Tetons, Jackson Hole. There's the people who work for a living in Arizona, and then there's Sedona, and then there's Colorado, and then there's the parasite towns of Colorado, which is Denver and Telluride. That's where all the assholes live. So, the states have their own eccentricity, but you'd look like the Dakotas, Nebraska, Kansas. How is the west side of Kansas? There really isn't. However, there's enough of a difference that there's these little eccentricities between the east and west, and it's gotten to the point where you're either West River or East River. And I've been here long enough. You're like, East River people. I'm like, what do you mean East River people? Wow, And there's the differences boil down to agriculture. On the east side of the river, they get enough rain. They can farm, but the west side of the river, it's more ranching and tourism, not as much water. And there's enough there where you could even goad people from the East River. We're from Aberdeen. You East River people. What? Not like you West River people. I'm just like, dude, I've been here 4 years. I just like to piss you off. So we got a guy, East River. And he sends a simple request. Hello, Cappy. I've been a long time listener. I want to know why you like the western side of South Dakota so much. You East River people would ask such a foolish question. For context, in my late 20s, live on the eastern side of South Dakota. I have only been out to your side of the state once over a decade ago to see Mount Rushmore. I want to take a trip out there, visit some of the parks, and figure out if I would like to move out there in the future. What's that? It's like 4 hours away. I don't know why you haven't been out. For everyone in Sioux Falls, I don't know why they don't come visit more often. Like in Vegas, you get weekly traffic coming up from California, which is 3.5 hours away. LA, anyway. I'm surprised we don't see more East Siders coming over because it is very close and nearby, and it's really kind of awesome out here. Please keep me anonymous. Let me know what the fee is for the request. All right. Well, the main reasons I moved to South Dakota, they're not going to be all the exact same reasons other people would want to move to South Dakota. I will admit, South Dakota, even the west side, which I'd say is the prettier side, even though it's my favorite place in the nation, that's not going to be the case for everybody. The reasons I moved out here was a confluence of things. 1, great motorcycle riding. 2, great hiking, but the mountains aren't so tall that I get altitude sickness, though I'm starting to increase my lung capacity going out to Montana and Idaho. 3, no state income taxes. 4, this is very unique to me, and a lot of people, like, if you're looking for big mountains, you're not going to want, you're skiing, you're going to want to go to Colorado. But for me, a real huge thing was geology. I love fossil hunting and agate hunting. I love the archaeology and paleontology. I like finding ancient artifacts, human or dinosaur. And I also like the Badlands formation / rolling hills / eroding part of South Dakota that is in between basically the Black Hills and Badlands National Park, even going out a little bit further beyond the Badlands. For wintertime, it's a lot warmer than east side South Dakota because they got the Chinook effect. Weather's like Denver, but I'm not here for that winter weather because I'm weak. I go to the Southern Command. And that's about it. Another thing I like about Western South Dakota is your striking distance of the Bighorns, the real Rockies, Montana, which I've been taking advantage of the past 2 years. I don't have to drive, although Vegas, I don't have to 2 hours from Utah, but if I want to get to northern Utah or Idaho, it's not a 2-day drive as it is from Minnesota. It's 1 day. I can get to the most beautiful parts. I can get to Moab in a day easy. So all the really big adventures and hikes are totally doable now. Yeah, I don't have to take vacation to do it, but then since I was self-employed, I never have to take vacation. But if I want a good hike in my backyard, boom, there it is. If I wanna go fishing, not a big fisherman, but if I wanted to, we got great trout streams that, Rollo Tomasi has not availed himself of. Um, I love motorcycle riding and some great rides out here, and if I'm get tired of those rides, I can make it to the Bighorns in 3.5 hours. Uh, so that's why I came here. Now, just and then another thing that I don't know why I didn't notice this before, but there ain't no mosquitoes out here because there's so little water. Unless you're living by a swamp, there aren't a lot of bugs out here. So that's why I moved out here. Now, before you move out here, before anyone moves out here, you got to realize that South Dakota doesn't offer the best of everything. It offers good of everything I like. So if you really like mountains, the Black Hills are not that tall. The first real mountain range is going to be the Bighorns, or if you drop south into the Rocky Mountains in South Dakota. I'm sorry, Colorado. Um, Rapid City is not that big of a town. There's not a lot of excitement going on. It's big enough for me, but I'm a 50-year-old man. If you're looking for women, I would not come here. And it's not like I'm trying to keep it secret, you know? It's there's although you're in South Dakota, so you know the entire state. I mean, yeah, there's the occasional good-looking gal, but if you wanted a better looking, you're probably gonna have to look at a larger city. Mountains aren't that tall, so for those of you who are like, "Oh, I wanna do 14ers, I wanna ski block down black diamonds," you gotta go to Colorado. The mountains aren't that tall here. It gets cold, very cold here. When I say it's warm during winter, I mean relative to Fargo or the Twin Cities. The Black Hills has a Chinook effect, which adds 10 to 15 degrees, which on a negative 32-degree day, you're now at negative 10, negative 15 still. And so a lot of people come to South Dakota during summer, say, "Oh my God, it's beautiful. I want to buy property here." They buy property and they've never dealt with frozen pipes. It's not the coldest state, but well, last year, what? I think it got to negative 20, 23 even. That's without wind chill. And I think for big city California, New York, Denver, major metro types, you come here, you're like, "Oh, is it this quaint?" You get sick of it. No, there's not that many restaurants, especially when tourist season is over and a lot of places close for 6 months out of the year. You got to really like it. What's out here to do, and I'd say you better bring your own girl, bring your own beer, bring your own babe. BYOB, bring your own babe. Uh, so you being a younger man, although you're in the east side of South Dakota, so your selection is not that much better. Um, so just to this is a I would not recommend South Dakota for everyone. Right? I leave half the year, right? Not everybody snowbirds. So, as always, and I talk about this in my book, Reconnaissance, man, like go and reconnoiter places both during summer and winter, the hot and the cold. Now, what's great about where you live, and this would be anyone East River, what's great about where you live is it's a 3-4 hour drive, depending on where you are. And heck, if you're in Chamberlain or Mitchell, it's a 3-hour drive. It ain't that far. I'd spend a couple weekends out here, right? Uh, You get out of work Friday afternoon, drive out here, you make it here by 8, 9 PM. There's plenty of hiking. You mentioned Mount Rushmore. Well, did you stop through the Badlands on the way in or the way out? Like, just drive through that. There's some beautiful hiking right there. It's a very unique park. So you went to Mount Rushmore. Did you climb Harney's Peak / Black Elk Peak? Did you drive through Spearfish Canyon? Did you do any of the um, what's called the Centennial Trail or not the Mitchell Trail? What's the other trail? Did you climb Crow Peak? Did you climb Spearfish Peak? Did you do Devil's Bathtub? I mean, there's scores of hikes out here. Did you spend any time in Hot Springs, which is a very quiet, relaxed town? So, oh, and did you go to Deadwood? Do any gambling in Deadwood? So I would use the next, whenever you got a weekend or two available, come out and hit all those different things. Which is going to take you multiple weekends. I mean, heck, the Badlands, I think the Badlands alone would be you drive out Friday, get yourself a hotel in Wall. You don't even have to make it to Rapid City. Do one day of a hike on one of the units, do another day of the hike on the other unit, and then drive home the next day. Or maybe after your second hike the next day, go home. And then you'll have figured out the Badlands. Uh the the only thing I can say that would be a drawback on coming to the west side from the east side. So in other words, the west side of South Dakota's got every advantage over the east side of South Dakota. It's prettier. Rapid City slash Spearfish slash Sturgis is roughly the same population as Sioux Falls. Yes, we got 2 Walmarts, 3 if you include Spearfish. It's more beautiful. Mountains closer to every other thing. It's warmer. It's not as bad as wintertime because Sioux Falls gets cold too. The only problem is the jobs. There's not a lot of jobs unless you're in kind of one of several industries. One would be medicine because we're the regional medical, there's no hospital in Belvedere, South Dakota. You guys want to see a small town? Look up Belvedere, South Dakota. So, medical profession. So you got to be a nurse or a doctor or a dentist type. You can work at the Air Force Base. So you have to join the military or be military adjacent. They're hiring more because they're having the B-21 Raider being headed out of Ellsworth Air Force Base. So that's a big employer out here too. So there's medicine, the Air Force Base, tourism, especially during tourist time. But after that, no, there's not like an industry here. I mean, there's ranching, but you go work on a ranch. You're not necessarily in Rapid City, but it's one of the most cookie cutter boring towns, which I like. I enjoy Rapid City. Oh, by the way, I'm in Hermosa, which it's not. There's nothing in there. It's a gas station. We got a gas station. On a coffee shop. I forgot the coffee shop. I'm talking because I presume you moved to the west side. You'd be somewhere near Rapid City. The economy in general in Rapid City is everything else that goes to support a town, a regional town. So you got your Walmarts. You're gonna go work retail at Walmart. You got your Longhorn Steakhouse. You go work as a waiter. Truck driving is pretty big. If you're willing to drive truck, there's some gravel pits out here and oil hauling as well. So there is that. But otherwise, it's just a big old mall, kind of like imagine your standard 50,000 person town. It's got a Target, it's got a Walmart, it's got restaurants, it's got nothing. It's not Silicon Valley where it's a tech field. Sioux Falls, on the other hand, yeah, you guys actually have industry and business, not only farming and butchering. Got the stockyard, or maybe I don't know, maybe you got rid of those. I still think you have them. Banking is out there. A lot of finance companies are out there. You two also have the medical facilities and all that. Sioux Falls is more of a commercial hub of South Dakota than it is Rapid City. So your chance of finding a job and a well-paying job out there is Sioux Falls. The problem is, as you're aware, with all of eastern South Dakota, it's flat as hell. You still got some of them lakes that come in from Minnesota, which means you got mosquitoes. There's not a lot to do. I've been to Sioux Falls several times. They got a good cigar lounge. I think it's called Frankie's. And they do have a Brazilian steakhouse in Sioux Falls, but that's it. I mean, it's like, wow. I hope you like duck hunting and pheasant hunting out there. It is flat. I don't know what you hike. You really don't. Things do not get pretty until you make it to Missouri River. And even then, you come back out of the valley and it's still kind of Deadsville for at least another 70 to 100 miles. So I would, come on out on weekends, take a look. Young man such as yourself can handle a short road trip like that. Do your top 10 hikes, take a look at different things. Spend a night in Spearfish one night, spend a night in Hot Springs the other, spend a night in Rapid City, spend a night in Wall. The Wall is strictly a tourist town. It's only there to serve Badlands National Park. Um, yeah, and you'll figure it out. It's not like, Cappy, I want to learn about Thailand. Well, welcome to life of hell in 19-hour flights. No, you got a 3-hour drive. And yeah, you'd figure it out. You'd find out whether you'd like it or not. I can't imagine you would not like it more than Eastern South Dakota, but some people prefer that more quiet, less hilly aspect. The hard part's gonna be finding a job. That's what, and I won't lie, a lot of people have bid up property prices out here. I mean, your rents are not as expensive as, say, Twin Cities or Chicago, but it's still gonna take a bite out of your budget unless you happen to be a dentist or a mechanic or something like that. Want to take a trip out there, visit parks, and figure out if I would like to move out there in the future. Yeah, that's exactly what you do. Go, come on out, do some hikes. Um, not just Mount Rushmore, and then you'll figure out. And I guarantee you, in two weekend trips, you figure out whether you'd like to be out here or not. Compared to East River, then you got to fill out an application because we have standards. West River, we just don't let you East River people in. Okay, like you got to take the oath of the West River people. You have to disavow the East River people. You have to mock and ridicule farming and acknowledge that ranching is the superior part of livestock is the way to go. Yeah, that's and that I got a lot of guys like, where should I live in the United States? And I want to try this. I want to try that. You got this is the easiest reconnaissance man gig you got, man. You just drive over and you could come over one night, next day, do a hike, leave that exact same day, and still have a Sunday left over for you. Um, yeah, and then it wouldn't be that hard to apply for jobs. Yeah, you might have to drive 3 hours for an interview. That's better than the 8.5 I had to. At the bank that decided we're not sure about you teaching dance classes. We know you gave you the job, but we were upset that you weren't smiling when you came into the interview at 7 a.m. And like, fuck you. So link below is a book called Reconnaissance Man, because you're not the only person out there who's curious about where to live in the United States. I would recommend picking up that book and using that to whittle down the key precise places within the United States that aren't completely left as shitholes. Uh, you can save a lot of money and gas and time and hotel expenses reading through that book and I've been there. No, don't go there. You don't want to go there. All right, super chats. Hat and Clogs, $2. ANT is just a flip of T. Oh, how do you do? Okay, tits and ass. Okay, ass and tits. Got it. Thanks, Hat. Dre, $2. Cappy just wants to hide that he misses Minnesota. I don't miss Minnesota. They Dude, if you wanna laugh at Democrats just shooting themselves in the foot, go read the news in Minnesota. It's always about crime. They had another spree of people. What was it? 100? What was it? Minneapolis people. You got the world's greatest community and culture over there. 125 cars got broken. I don't even think they're broken into. I think the windows are just smashed. At all their restaurants and facilities are closing. I do not, and you know what's funny? It's like getting out of an abusive relationship. You don't realize it when you're in it, but then you leave. You're like, oh my god, you guys are complete fucking psychopaths. You are truly mentally ill in that state. Because there's people in Minneapolis, they still try to defend themselves. They still try to defend what's happening to them, and they keep voting for it over and over again. Chasing Cars, $2. It's the first place we made love and missed it. What you and how long? What kind of a Microsoft Paint job? What did that take you? 3 minutes? Bravo, sir. Bravo. Dre, $2. Are the Black Hills of South Dakota actually back? Yeah, they are kind of dark. They're I don't know what pine it is. It's mostly pine trees. and they're a darker pine, a blue pine. So I forget, but if you look at them, yeah, they actually are kind of a deep dark pine green. And then if you get a little bit of clouds or haze, they do look dark gray. But no, they're not actually black. You're still allowed to, I know you're black, Dre. You could show up. The hills will not attack you. The hills are perfectly fine with you there. But they are darker. It's I don't know why that is. It's probably something to do with the trees. Beard is death, $5. Cappy, come get white girl wasted on Rumplements in New York. All the ghetto single mommies love you out here, dogs. I don't want to go to I've been to New York twice. I don't want to go again. I didn't have a bad time in New York. I just don't need to go again. I do hear though that that is true. The of that dating age range, say 20 to 35, there are more men than women. I'm sorry, there are more women than men, and the girls actually are somewhat pleasant and show up on time in New York. And I only think it's a 10% difference, a 10% shortage, but a 10% shortage can cause a 30% change in price or quality as it would be. So I've heard good things about being a youngish man in New York and dating. DFTCG, 20 generous dollars. Yo, Aaron, been watching since before Curse of the High IQ. Awesome. And got some consulting. Just graduated with a PhD in computer science doing cybersecurity research. Looking for my first gig. Any book recommendations for a stage in life? Single, no shit. Dude, uh, you're in a very unique league of your own over there. PhD in computer science. I wouldn't know where to I've never gotten to that advanced level. Obviously, you're in academia. Obviously, you would teach and then do research. So I would go and look for whatever schools are hiring. Shoot, you're in the realm of maybe you go look at Silicon Valley and see what they got going on, or maybe not Silicon Valley. You can go to the other, like, what is it? Raleigh's got that tech triangle, and Austin's got something going on, the corridor. I'd go. You go work for Intel? I have no idea. I mean, in terms of where you want to live, yeah, go pick up Reconnaissance, man. In terms of basic financial planning, if you don't have bachelor pad economics, go get it. I would say that stage of life, you probably want to pay off your student loan debts if you have any. Like, I would just crack down on that shit. Even if you got to go find some job that ain't in your field, and because you're applying, just get yourself some job. Just start paying that shit down. Um, I wouldn't be able to consult in your career because you're so far over there. But the basics in terms of financial planning are the same. Especially with you got your PhD, what I would do is maybe take a break too. Like, yeah, yes, get a job, yeah, pay off your debts, but man, you've earned it. You want to go to Vegas? Do you want to? What do you want to do? Do you want to go to Tokyo? I would take a good week or two off. Hell, you just want to sit at home and do nothing and get drunk? Do it. Take a break, man. You've earned it. Summertime, I'd go check out Montana or something nice. Northern Utah. Yeah, but whatever it is you want to do, take a good solid week of doing whatever the fuck. Get some sleep. And then yeah, it's just go find yourself a job, pay off the debts, squirrel away the money. I'm gonna imagine you have maybe an entrepreneurial inkling in you. Um, and I don't tell people your ideas. Write them down. Don't tell people your ideas unless you're applying for financing. Yeah, just start making money and start saving up money. Dre, $2. Hiking is like eating. It's and not an actual hobby. How dare you, sir? How dare you? Dre, you being a Marine and all, you had to do a little bit of hiking. You should be able to beat me because you're also taller than me. So your gait is longer. You should be able to beat me in hiking, Dre. And because of your insolence, because of that comment, when we meet and when there's going to be a hike, because when we meet, there is going to be a hike. I'm not holding back. Not going to hold back. All those short chokes, that's going to pow right there. Dre, $2. Cappy likes bundles of sticks, hunting, or rocks. No, Fossils, fossils. Dre, $2. Hiking is like gooning. It's not a wow. Dre, you should I know you're in a foreign country, but you might want to think about stand-up comedy if you got this quick wit. Dre, $2. Cappy and Big Mike on Brokeback Mountain. Laugh out loud. Chad Layton, Hail Cobra, 10 generous dollars. I'm looking at moving from Washington State to Iowa. Laugh out loud. Vancouver, Washington has lost its way, was a haven for the loonies. Why Iowa? I don't know, man. Washington State's big enough and you got no state income taxes. Why not go to Spokane or Leavenworth or something over on the Yakima? There's not a lot of. I've never been to Walla Walla. Yeah, if you're over Vancouver, Washington, that whole I-5 corridor, yeah, no wonder you want to move out of Washington. But have you tried the other parts of Washington where there isn't just a bunch of self-loathing white people who are Marxist fascists? Have you thought about going to where the white people aren't depressed, where the sun shines, like the other side of the Cascades? I That's what I go to Spokane. You're near Idaho, nice mountain range out there, Coeur d'Alene. Probably not that far from your family if you got family in Washington. Sunny, no state income taxes. I went Iowa. If you said I want to go from Vancouver, Washington to Reno, Nevada, I say, okay, I can see it. Because Reno is kind of weird, but the surrounding area is very nice and fun. You said I want to go from Vancouver, Washington down to Vegas or I'm trying to think of a fun town, St. George. You could sell me on that, but why Iowa? Iowa? What, dude, there's nothing in Iowa. Even Des Moines ain't that big of a town. It's cold. Half the time they vote Democrat. They got good tornado chasing in Iowa, but Iowa there's nothing like Dubuque and Quad Cities. That's kind of nice on the riverfront there, but there's nothing in Iowa. It's cornfields. I Have you been to Iowa? I've never heard anyone say they want to move to Iowa. I mean, it's not a bad place. It just, I would imagine it's like Ohio without the local income taxes, right? It's Ohio slightly more attractive, yet still horrendously ugly twin sister. The one that has lipstick. No offense, Ray. Just picking on Ray there. Yeah, before you go to Iowa, why don't you spend a week or two in Spokane and see if that doesn't make you feel better? Or anything on the Leavenworth is all right. Anything on that eastern side of the Cascades. Cool Ranch, Pepe, $2. What do you think about living in Idaho? I liked Idaho. Idaho, you got the panhandle. Imagine a tomahawk steak, right? It's got the big old fat part and then the bone that comes up. That's kind of Idaho. I don't mean the entire state of Idaho. I'm saying the part of Idaho that's worth living in. So from the panhandle down, that tomahawk steak, down to the southern end, kind of more or less a town called Stanley, Idaho. So if you look at Stanley, Idaho, and you go straight up north to the border with Canada in the panhandle, that's the good part of Idaho. The rest of it is high plains, a kind of boring tundra. Because I went through Boise, and Boise's the largest town, and it's all right. It's a fine town, but I was very bored with it. I rode in from Nevada, came in up through Oregon, and it's just kind of bland, hillish sort of plains. You get Crater of the Moon. It starts turning into the dry Nevada desert. It's just north of that. And so it goes from lush green, real forest to dry, craggy desert mountain, occasional mountains. And you could see Boise. I wouldn't live in Boise. and you gotta go north a little bit to get into that good meat part of the tomahawk meat. Now, what's interesting about that tomahawk meat part, there's no roads that go through it. So you cut in through the Panhandle. You go in through, what is it, Anaconda, Montana, and you get to Lewiston, and you can go down south as a circle to Stanley. Then you go back up 93 to Chalice, and then Salmon, and then you're going back up to where you were before you went into the Panhandle. It's a big old loop. Big. I think it would take you 10 hours to do that loop. That entire loop you did inside, there's no paved roads that go through. There's some dirt roads that go in, but I don't think anything goes through. So it's on that cusp, on the outline of the tomahawk meat cut. There's the towns and the fishing and the hiking. It kind of goes in and all that. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I was just there 2 weeks ago. And if you can live or work remotely, yeah, absolutely. There's some gorgeous towns. And I didn't even make it to Lewiston. That was my goal, is to make it over there. I gotta get the motorcycle out and do the whole loop. But yeah, I wouldn't live in Boise. I wouldn't live in the southern part of the state. I'd live in the mountainous part. And you have a fair amount of options, but there's nothing. Stanley's like 200 people. It's starting to become Telluride and Sedonified, a bunch of rich, snooty assholes. Salmon is a nice town. It's big enough. I haven't been to Lewiston. I don't know about that. I have been through the Coeur d'Alene area and Bonners Ferry and all that. That's nice. It's a little bit more piney. I like Wallace, Idaho. I really like Wallace, Idaho, and that's on that entire corridor. You're not that far away from Spokane, so that Interstate 90 from Spokane to Wallace, Idaho, there's a bunch of towns, Kellogg and all that, and that you'd be far enough away from people. It'd be very beautiful, but if you needed a city, you could hop on that interstate and chumma over. But yeah, I liked Idaho. I liked it a lot. I mean, of course, I was hiking all the time. So. Do you like redheads with big tits? Yeah, I was sleeping with them all the time. Oh, no wonder your opinion's so high about them. Dre, $2. Cappy gets altitude sickness early. No one is shocked. Dre, did you ever? The Marines? You guys train in mountains? I know the 10th Division in the Army does, but do you guys train in mountains? You ever have to go up above 10,000? Oh, I can't wait to go hiking with Dre, man. Can't wait to go hiking with Dre. No. We're going to go up there where the snow is. That's where we're going to go. Chad Layton, 10 generous dollars. Cost of living in Iowa is way lower, semi-normal people, and I'm looking for some quiet place. You sure you can't? Look, Chad, well, you could, before you start packing your bags, spend 2 minutes, search cost of living adjuster US, and there's plenty of websites. You just plug in where you are, Vancouver, Washington, type in Dubuque, Iowa, and it will show you what the cost of living difference is. I would also do that for Spokane, Yakima, Walla Walla. If you want small, Washington State's got plenty of towns. I drove through a bunch of them. I know it's Pendleton's Oregon. I think Pendleton's in Oregon. But I would, if you can work remote, just pick whatever small little town you want. But I want to go to Iowa, man. I really wouldn't. I mean, no, they're not even girls there. Did you know, Mad? $2 Canadian. I heard your Vikings laugh out loud just got a man. Yeah, they got 2 man cheerleaders. It's funny. Friend of mine here, he's a big Viking fans. I don't know why. And I said, well, it looks like your team's in for another year of bullshit. Okay, Iowa is always better than Minnesota. I'm not kidding. Minnesota is just, oh my God. And they're all up their own asses. They actually think like they know what they're doing. They are the fart huffers. They really think, oh my God, we have gay men on our cheerleading team. Like, no one cares. It's not a thing. No one gives a shit. Dre, $2. Cappy so short he gets altitude sickness in hell. Dre, $2. How do you define American culture? I guess our history, rugged individualism, American exceptionalism, I say, is a factor. Like, we decided we're going to be exceptional. We're not going to be like the Europeans. We're not going to be like other empires of the ancient times, or individuality, democracy, or republic, technically. I would say excellence. We want to be the best at everything. Freedom. Go back to a I'm sorry, 3% tax rate like we had in 1900. Um, you could do American Pie and baseball, sure. Our food leaves something to be. Our food is not our strong suit. That's not our strong suit. Our military, and until recently, our ability to make movies and entertainment was. Um, I would define American culture as all the excellent people that came before us who were Americans, because there are no real Americans now. Pretty much the current generation of Americans are soft, weak people who the previous generations of Americans spoke. We don't have really any Americans anymore. Oh yeah, we got some. I'm not saying there aren't, but um, your average American now who is watching TV and TikTok and shops at Walmart and is a fat pig, no, you're not an American. So yeah, American culture, I would say, you know, fast cars, fighter planes, great movies. We'll tell the rest of the world what's awesome because we'll discover it. All of our inventions. Um, I don't know, motorcycles, guns, barbecue, all the good fun stuff. Cool Ranch Pepe, $2. I was thinking of Wrath Drum. Is that good? Wrath Drum. Wrath, Iowa? Wrath Drum. Who comes up with these names? I mean, Wrath Drum, Idaho. All right, let's take a look at Wrath Drum. Where's that? Oh, yeah, you're right across. Yeah, that's there you go. That's fine. I've not been through that. I've been to the south, but that entire area, yeah, I don't know, maybe Sandpoint or something. But yes, but my question to you is, why would you go to Rathdrum and now you got to pay an income tax in Idaho? You got to pay a state income tax in Idaho. What's wrong with just hopping literally 10 miles over to the Washington border? What's wrong with that? You still get the exact same area, but you're not paying income taxes. But yes, that's a very nice part of the country. It's very, very nice out there. Ethan Ross Clark, $7 Canadian. You hike where I am right now in Canada, you get fined. Yeah, you're over in Nova Scotia, right? Yeah, I heard about that. The guy got fined, what, 28,000 Canadian? I'm sorry so many of your fellow countrymen just voted to make that country suck. It was really good under Harper. You guys had it, man. You were going to rival the U.S. on a currency basis. You could have closed the gap on GDP per capita, but I mean, there's some about, man, that it's the boomers. I guarantee you it was boomers who reminisced fondly about Pierre Trudeau, Justin's dad. I don't know what was, it sucked to be Canada back then too. There's something about Canadian boomers just hate their children, hate their country. Oh, well. Ass bucket, $2. You hear about all the car windows smashing? Yeah, 125 this time. And I think no more than 3 days ago, it was 100. And like I said, I don't even think they're stealing stuff. I think they're just smashing windows. You guys said you didn't want cops, right, Minneapolis? That's fine. That's fine. I cannot think of a group of people who deserve it better. I mean, you might want to say San Franciscans, but no, Minneapolitans, you guys deserve it. You keep voting for criminals, and I don't. You want to be popular among, like, basically all Minneapolis people, including the men. They're all women, and they all got to do. What do you want? Do we all agree? What do I do to say the thing that's popular? And they don't dare say, how about we kick out all the illegal aliens and start getting some cops? No, oh God. Oh, someone might call me a fascist. Oh, let's vote pro-crime. Let's get rid of the cops. Will that make me popular? And then it's like, hey, the criminals you voted for to never arrest and all that, they're smashing your windows now. Well, they were just misunderstood. Keep telling yourself that. I keep telling yourself that. Dude, out here, someone caught you smashing their window, you'd probably be dead. They got a stand your ground law, and I think I'd have to look at if it's felony damage or felony theft, you could shoot them. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, you're not gonna wanna pull off that shit, go to Denver, go to Minneapolis. You get shot here. God bless America. This is the part of America that still exists. All right. Yeah, I'm in Nova Scotia, and it was boomers and minority. Yeah, yeah. Hey, you know what? Try to get to the United States, Ethan, if you can. If you can become an accountant or something remote, and see if you can't get here. And you don't even have to live in Canada. I think you guys got agreements like what Jamaica and the Caymans, and you could travel in the United States on a travel visa and spend 3 weeks or 3 months here, then go to Mexico, hang out, come back. You don't have to actually be in Canada, but I do feel bad for you. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.